Let me to apologize first of all that I didn't send you your scores. I was very busy for this week, and please be sure that I will do it until this Friday. I will share it into the LMS system, and this week you will see it into the LMS. Sorry for this. Please, you're welcome to see it and this Friday. So today we'll have the next presentation. The presentation is about digital tools and social control and COVID in the COVID pandemics and about that how could we use any digital tools to avoid these problems and to make our people more healthy. So let's get started. Please, teams number 2, 3, and 1. Oh, I'm sorry. Teams number 6 and 7. Please be ready with your questions. And now, teams number 5, we're looking for your presentation. Please share the screen and be careful with your timelines. You have only 20 minutes for your presentation.
Hello, everyone. So we're team number 5, and today we will talk about digital tools of social control and COVID pandemics. Here you can see the table of contests, and my colleague Igor will start.
So now we want to talk about social control. So social control is the most effective method used by the institutions of society to organize people's lives. So to implement effective social control, institutions of society use a variety of tools. In the age of mass digitalization of society, digital tools are becoming the most relevant control tools. So digital instruments are broadly understood to include electronic devices, software, programs, applications, platforms, and resources that can be used with computers, mobile devices, or other digital devices. So now we want to talk about examples of digital tools of social control. So first is facial recognition system. Face recognition is a system that recognizes a human face through technology. It compares the information with a database of known faces to find a match. So it is used to control access to objects or systems or to identify lawbreakers and to ensure transport security. Next example is Russian traffic police camera system. Since 2008, it has become possible to find drivers using cameras for fixing traffic violations. The system of such cameras has grown and improved over the years. And at this moment, cameras record almost all of existing offenses, as they are able to recognize not only exceeding the speed limit, but also incorrect parking, ignoring road signs, etc. The next example is social credit scoring China, or it's sometimes called ranking system. So the system has been partially used since 2014. Using CCTV cameras and other technologies, Chinese citizens are constantly monitored. So during this process, rating is created. Examples of violations include bad driving, smoking in prohibited places, buying too many video games, and spreading false news. Examples of implications such as travel ban, exclusion from school admission, if the parents or a child were to score below a certain threshold, their children would be excluded from the private schools in the region or even national institute or universities. So social status, one's personal score could be used as a social symbol on social and couples platforms. For example, China's biggest matchmaking service allows its users to publish their own score. Public display mugshots or of blacklisted individuals are sometimes displayed on large LED screens on buildings or shown before the movie theaters.
And now we will tell about digital tools which helps to fight COVID pandemic. And we will start with the cases in Russia. So the first one is electronic pass. Everyday life during the period of self-isolation has changed a lot. For example, there are cases in Moscow, Kazan, and some other major cities of Russia where it was obligatory to obtain special electronic passes to travel along certain roads. So an SMS message was sent indicating the goal. Movement was considered permitted when receiving a response SMS message with a unique permission code indicating the period of its validity. The next one is facial recognition system. An improved version of the city's existing video surveillance and facial recognition system was also used to monitor compliance with the isolation regime, which was previously used to search for citizens who violated the 2-week self-isolation regime after arriving from countries with an unfavorable epidemiological situation. The city's video surveillance system includes cameras installed in country yards, at the entrance of residential buildings, in parks, schools, clinics, shops, and construction sites, as well as in the premises of administrative buildings and other public places. The city uses the NTECHLAB facial recognition system. The next one is social monitoring app. This app is installed on the phone and requires the isolated person to send a selfie as confirmation that they are at home. If you do not do this for a limited time, you will be fined with a fine. There are more examples from other countries. For example, the new use of QR codes. During the pandemic in South Korea, there was a massive installation of QR code readers at places like fitness centers, clubs, karaoke bars, and cafes, because they were considered to be high risk for the spread of COVID-19. People wishing to go to these places need to scan their QR code from the Naver smartphone app. This will help to track all people who have been in contact with the coronavirus and alert them. The data is encrypted and stored for 4 weeks, after which it is deleted automatically. The last one is COVID-19 contact tracing on iPhone and Android. Google and Apple jointly created the exposure notification system out of shared sense of responsibility to help governments and our global community fight this pandemic through contact tracing. Contact tracing is a technique used by public health authorities to contact and give guidance to anyone who may have been exposed to a person who has contracted COVID-19. This will help public health authority alert you if you have been exposed to COVID-19. On Android, people can find the app for the area they are, and on iPhone, it is possible to turn on exposure notifications in your device settings. So now we would like to tell about advantages and disadvantages of digital tools of social control. So we will start with advantages, ensuring the safety of citizens. So such digital technologies provide the necessary information to help prevent the spread of virus. Moreover, it's important to say that they help to make all people feel more safety, because there are like hundreds of cameras in the city, and if there are some breakers of law, it's possible to find them, and it's not so horrible to walk alone in the evenings, for example, in the city center, and so on. Wide scope of application. Digital tools allow you to ensure control over entire cities and countries at all, which would be impossible without them nowadays. They also have high efficiency. Digital tools of control analyze and provide information in the shortest possible time, which makes them extremely effective. As I said before, the whole city or the whole country can be controlled by using digital tools. Moreover, they are adaptable to the needs of society. Digital technologies are applicable not only for the case of pandemic, but also for many others, for example, to ensure law and order.
Now let's move on to the disadvantages. So the first is the risk of disclosure and data thief. So the idea is that personal data that is collected using such digital tools can be stolen and used against the law, causing harm to citizens. Next disadvantage is technical errors in the working process of digital tools. It means that digital tools are not perfect and can be wrong. So it can harm people who have not violated the rules protected by these digital tools. And the last disadvantage is high price. So the implementation of such digital tools requires a lot of resources. So not every country or city can afford well-functioning digital tools for social control. So that's here you can see all the resources. That's all we want to say. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Let's get started with the question. And team number 6, please. You're welcome. How many questions do you have?
We have 7 questions.
Oh, that's great. So let's get started.
So the first question, how can we solve the complex of problems associated with cybersecurity when most of our daily life will be transferred to online mode, and this will significantly affect the privacy of personal data with the help of implementation of digital tools?
Can you please repeat the question? Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, maybe you'll write it into the chat, and everyone, despite any problems with the internet connection, can hear it now.
Okay, I can write it in the chat.
Okay, I can repeat this question. How can we solve the complex of problems associated with cybersecurity when we implement digital tools in our daily life?
So I can answer, I think.
Okay.
For sure, we cannot say that the privacy of the data is always protected. There are many cases all over the world of cyber attacks and data breaches. But data, we mean information about us, our private data, is confidential and protected by laws in every country. So therefore, the responsibility for this security is provided by those structures that collect this information. And it's very important to remember that when you give your private data to some kind of sources, you have to remember that there are possible cases of cyber attacks, and you just like have to always think about where you write it, and is these sources are reliable, in order to like do not have such sad cases of attacks.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And the next question is, how can we overcome inequalities of opportunity in terms of access to quality online services in different countries and social groups?
This is a very difficult question, I think. I think we cannot give the correct answer on how to prevent inequality.
Maybe you can give us some ideas?
Yes, perhaps this issue should be resolved in accordance with the economic regime and policy. For example, perhaps in some cases, this equality should be ensured by the government, maybe in some socialistic countries and so on. This is the answer.
Oh, I can add something. I think that it's very important for the government to make as much people to give them opportunity to use internet. I mean, in little towns and countryside, it's important to make like stations where people can come, for example, and use internet, because nowadays, even in big economic countries, there are places where people do not have internet at all. So it's very important to make as much as government can.
Thank you very much. And the next question is, what problems can countries face while implementing digital tools?
As we said before, the implementing of digital tools can be a very expensive process. In addition to financial costs, it's very important for the countries and governments to select highly qualified specialists to ensure that the digital tools will work efficiently. Also, it's important to remember that despite the digitalization of society, some parts of the population does not have access to digital technologies, or even if they have access, they just like do not know how to use it. For example, our grandparents, they probably have internet at home, but they have very big problems in using it.
Okay, thank you. The next question, what is the main goal for implementing digital tools?
The main goal, I think, is that digital tools allows us to cope with the tasks in most effective ways. So they act as quickly as possible, and they works with huge volumes. So, for example, it's difficult for us to imagine how a group of people, maybe a large group of people, can control the implementation of some certain rules by all the population of the city, for example. But with digital tools, it happens.
Okay, thank you. The next question.
Excuse me, please. Could you please allow me? To add some point? I think that there are two main goals, and it is very important to understand that the first one is to control, and the second one is to predict, because all the digital tools provide the opportunity to create any models, models for productive analysis and to find any models that help for us to be ready for COVID increasing or any other problems. So the main goal is to predict it, I think, and we have to concentrate our view not only the control function, because the control is very easy to implement, but the biggest issue is to predict that, to avoid it in the future. And all the digital tools have to be concentrated on this issue. Please control this point into your answers. Okay, the next one, please.
Okay, the next question. What is the approximate cost of implementing digital tools in different countries?
Okay, this is also a difficult question, and I think it's a complex question. We cannot provide particular numbers, but I think that it depends on the development of country's economic system, the size of the population of the country, and on the specific technologies and tools what will be introduced.
Okay. Is the introduction of such expensive digital tools justified in countries with a low level of economy?
I think we must find something like economic research, because maybe in some cases the money which spent on digital control tools would be more profitable to spend on the medical sector, maybe on IVL devices, etc. But maybe not. Maybe digital control is more effective in pandemic case for some particular countries.
Okay, thank you. In your speech, you mentioned the facial recognition system. Can you please list its pluses and minuses?
Yes, of course. So the biggest advantage of this system is that it can be applied in many areas. For example, to ensure safety, to identify violators of the law. And there is like very interesting case in Japan where face recognition system is used even in the subway for contactless passage through the turnstile. So you don't have like to have a metro card to go to the metro, you just need your face. A big disadvantage is that the system can malfunction, due to which innocent people can suffer. And for the most effective work, you need to add as many citizens to the database as possible. But it's not always possible for face recognition system, because you cannot like have every single person, the photo of every single person in the country or even in the city, and add it to the database. So there are very big number of errors in this system too. So there are disadvantages and advantages. We can't say for sure is that like always good or always bad.
So that's all. Thank you for your answers.
Thank you for the questions, and please, team number 7, if you're ready, please, you're welcome.
Okay, we have 5 questions, and the first one is, can governments use these digital tools, for example, face recognition, for political repressions? Wouldn't this be too strong opportunity for political pressure?
It's a good question. I think yes. Unfortunately, such use is possible. And as I remember, as an example, we can consider the case in China when Orthodoxical Muslims were repressed using such digital technologies.
Okay. Also, you noticed the road cameras which they regulate violations of law and on the road. And is it possible to apply these technologies for traffic regulation? For example, can these cameras controlling the speed of traffic flow to prevent traffic jams? Is there any examples of it?
Yes, as we said in presentation, digital control tools can be used in this way. So, for example, the case of Russia, so similar technologies began to be used even before the pandemic to control the traffic.
And it's important to add that in some countries, like this system used in order to tune traffic lights. So if people see that there are like recordings from these kind of cameras where there is a huge like traffic jams, it's possible for them to change the settings of traffic lights in order to prevent more traffic jams.
Okay, thank you. And third question is, how ethical is the credit score system in China? Isn't it an invasion of privacy? And with this system, can the party now just restrict any person access to all social benefits in a couple of clicks with this system?
We think that the ethics of this system depends maybe on your own morality, because on the one hand, the system exists for the social control, social order, and in this way, it is a good for society. But on the other hand, of course, it can interpret as invasion of privacy. So, as an example, as we already mentioned, we can consider the case of Muslims. So, unfortunately, the party can limit your possibilities and opportunities using such digital tools.
Okay.
And it seems for us that this system is okay for like ideal societies where all people believe to all people, and there is like no bad things which people want to do every day. So it's not very possible, in my opinion, nowadays, because this kind of societies, there are no this kind of societies now, but probably in the future it will be absolutely okay for every people.
Okay. And fourth question is, you mentioned the app which confirms you at home, and you should take a selfie to prove that you are home. Otherwise, you can find on 4,000 rubles. But how that app confirms that you're at home? How it, for example, tell the difference between your room and, for example, restaurant or someone else's apartment by one photo?
Unfortunately, like this social monitoring app is not effective, as users have rapidly said. When I was finding like information about it, I saw a lot of comments from users that there are hundreds of errors during the work of this app. So the percentage of reliability is very, very small. And it's very funny that this kind of app was only in Russia. And it seems to me that only Russia, like there is a possibility to have this kind of app, which will, for like 50% give your own outcome. So in my opinion, this app is just like not very effective, and probably if some very good very good computer scientist can like introduce some changes in this app, it will be better. But now it's not work okay.
Okay, for our last question, it's a little bit more hypothetical. You guys mentioned with the digital control tools, there's a risk of disclosure and data theft, which means that it would be possible that the system is hacked or accessed illegally by irresponsible third parties, right? In your opinion, what would be the disastrous effects of this, and how can countries who apply these systems avoid such situations?
I think I believe that there is no way to avoid such situations. So, as I remember, was a case with Pentagon, so it was hacked. So, I think everything is hacked, of course. So this is a problem for governments, and I think they try to protect this data through programming and so on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Great questions. And I just wanted to add that there were a few questions about the China's case with the rate system, about the invasion and privacy. And I think that generally it is a deal between the government and the society. And society pays this invasion into the privacy issues. But what is the product? Why the society has to pay something? What is the benefit of this deal? And the main issue is the benefit for society. What will the government provide for society by this price? Maybe any opportunities to made our society more safety. Maybe about the increasing the incomes, or a lot of points that could be increased by this tool. And the main issue is into this deal. What is the final price? What is the final benefit of this deal for the society? And now we are looking for the China's example, and benefits for society of this model are not so obvious. And this is the first step of the deal between the government and society, and this is the first example. I think that further we will find those systems in other countries, and the terms of using it will be very diverse. And we have to control our government. We, as a citizen of our city, we have to control our society and made this deal very effective for us. Okay, you could create the system for invasion into our privacy issues, but please use it for something important for us, for safety, for increasing the level of incomes for each of householders, and a lot of others. So generally, it is the question about the deal between the government and society. So thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you very much for your question and answers. As I said before, I will send you your scores this Friday until the LMS system, and the next presentation will be the next week with the team number 6, and your opponents will be teams number 2 and 4 works together. Just 1 second. 2 and 5. Teams number 2 and 5, please be ready to prepare your questions. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you very much. See you the next
Goodbye.
week.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In the next week, we have 2 seminars in our schedule.
If it is correct, I will send you. Anyway, I will send you the answer in the email today, because this is a very big surprise for me. But I think that is not a problem. If it is necessary to schedule it, 2 seminars, yes, we'll do it, and I will send you the next opponents for the team number 7. If we will have if we will have 2 seminars, it means that we will have 2 presentations by team number 6 and 7, and it means that we will have 4 opponents team. I will create the schedule today and send you into the email.
And one more question.
Yeah.
When will we present team 8? Because in our schedule, in the next week, this last seminars.
That's a problem. Okay, I will discuss it with Ivan Dmitrich and with our manager into the higher school of economics, and I will answer this question today into the email. Okay, because I thought that we have 2 weeks, but we have only 1, and it's a real problem, because we will have more 3 presentations. Okay, I will discuss it with the professor and write you this evening. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.